Welcome back, Truth Seeker. NFL Week 17 live decode. Looks like we got a couple people here. Hopefully, people know this is happening. We'll get started. I'm sure more people will fill in as we go. We'll go through all the games, then we'll review and see if we can get through this quicker than we normally do. So, let's start at the top. It's NFL Week 17. 17's the seventh prime number. Watch out for those sevens this week. In Gematria, 17 sums to 109. That's the 29th prime number. In football equals 29. 17 also sums to 37. 37 is the 12th prime. There's a lot of teams looking for their 12th win this week, including Los Angeles, which equals 37. 17 equals 134. I only saw this number come up once in the decode. I believe it's Kirk Cousins. The game's 134 days after his birthday. Kirk Cousins is going to have to lose today if the Eagles are going to get into the playoffs. And 17 also sums to 44. We're going to see a number of 44s. In terms of the writing out 17, Week 17, NFL Week 17, I think the majority of the relevance is just in the number of the week written out each week. That's what I've observed. It is interesting to note, though, that Week 17 equals 153, which is the 17th triangular number. So, first game up is Dolphins and Bills, and both quarterbacks, Tannehill and Josh Allen, wear the number 17. And I tried to make sure I have all the right QBs for this week. It is Week 17, so we do have some unusual QBs in, such as the Carolina and New Orleans game. We got two backups in, Bridgewater and Kyle Allen. The name Kyle and Allen, both names sum to 17 in the most pure cipher. But anyway, starting with this first game where both QBs wear number 17, and this game has no meaning on the season. Neither of these teams can get in the playoffs. Buffalo's at home. They're a slight favorite. Notice the over-under is right there at 39, the big New York number. Also, with regards to Week 17, notice this week the games also fall on a date with 17 numerology. Very 17 is Week 17. It's also got 53 date numerology. Here we are in the year Super Bowl 53. Only two teams are in their 53rd NFL season. They're the Miami Dolphins and the Atlanta Falcons, who are hosting the Super Bowl. What jumps out to me right away about this game is that if the Dolphins lost, they'd fall to 1-7 on the road in Week 17. They'd stay at 7 wins. 17 is the 7th prime. And the Bills would improve to 4-4. Remember, 17 equals 44. Allen equals 44, the rookie QB for the Bills. The only problem here is Tannehill can pick up his 17th career away win. And last week, I really liked the Dolphins because they had everything lining up for him. The only thing was the opposing QB could become 1-7 in his respective stats. Or, excuse me, last week, the opposing QB against Miami, the only thing they had going was the opposing QB could become 1-6 in his stats in Week 16, and he did. I wouldn't say it quite shocked me, but it really surprised me because Miami had a lot going for it in the way the numbers lined up last week. And that's what stinks about this game, because a lot lines up here for the Bills, but because Tannehill can get his 17th away win in Week 17, it makes it dangerous. Say this gives me deja vu of the Miami game last week. For Allen, this is his 11th game. He's 4-6. Could potentially pick up his 7th loss, 17, the 7th prime. He'd become 3-3 at home if he did. New York's 33. He could also become 4-2, though, and we do have 42 date numerology here. The Bills are 28-26 at home in the modern era. 17 has the gematria of 109, the 29th prime. That means the Bills could pick up their 29th win at home against the Dolphins. And, this will be the 106th regular season game. The Dolphins lead 60-44-1. The Dolphins did win. They'd pick up their 61st win, the 18th prime. Here we are at the end of 2018. Bills has the gematria of 18 as well. Would be a good year to pick up win number 61. So what I'm trying to communicate here is because the variables go a little bit both ways for this game, I don't think that this is a clear read. The game lands on Tannehill's 157th day of his age. That's the 37th prime. Again, 17 equals 37. For Allen's stats, he's 2-6 against the AFC. If he lost, he'd be 2-7. Buffalo's 27, so is Miami. And actually, hold on, I better check something real quick. Miami is also 36. He could be 3-6, and so is Buffalo. A good thing I double checked that. So this could go either way, really. And McDermott, the coach of the Bills, he could potentially stay on 17 losses. The ref is John Hussey, number 35. John Hussey has gematria 45, forwards and backwards. Buffalo Bills 45. See if anybody has any home run hitters for that one. What's up, Jeremy? All right, we'll come back to this game later. I see you guys are talking about college football. Lions, Packers. The Packers have the big G on their helmet, the 7th letter. It's week 17. 17 date numerology. 17 is the 7th prime. I think it only seems fitting for the Packers to pick up their 7th win. The Packers would also get their 99th win against the Lions to conclude the 99th NFL season. This will be the 179th game all time between the two teams. That's the 41st prime. Green Bay's 41. Rodgers is 41. Packers can get their 37th win. Again, when you write out 17, it equals 37. Stafford could potentially get a 7th win against the Packers in week 17. 17, the 7th prime. Rodgers could stay at 17 home losses in week 17. The ref is Alex Kemp, number 55. I don't think his number is too big for this game, but I do like the Packers getting their 7th win in week 17. I think that's a strong relationship. And come check the chat here real quick. Yeah, the thing about this Packers game is there wasn't any news that the Packers were benching Rodgers, but because the game's meaningless and he's been banged up this year, I just wonder how much he'll play. So that's the only thing here about the Packers game. But just in terms of overall record, I think picking up the 7th win, being the team with the G on the helmet, makes sense in week 17. So, yeah, we already know Seamus. We already covered that. So we'll get to that game ahead. Jets, Patriots. I expect the Patriots to get that 11th win. Again, 11 has the gematria of 99 like New England. It's the 99th NFL season. Jets can also pick up their 12th loss against the Patriots. Patriots equals 37. 37. 17 equals 37. Brady can get his 136th home win too, which is the 16th triangular, 16th game of the season. He'd get his 115th home win in the regular season, going 11-5 on the year. And the ref was Walt Coleman, number 65. I didn't really see how he factored into this game either. So I just expect Patriots to get that 11th win. They should get it done. All right, Panthers Saints. We got two backup QBs here. We speculated earlier this year that the Saints might be the team to get to 13 wins because 13 has the connection to the number 99 through gematria, like Drew Brees, like how Drew Brees has been getting 99 tributes all season. If the Saints lose here, they stay on 13 wins. The only thing that's interesting, though, is the possibility of them becoming 14-2, a bit like 142. We have 42 date numerology. If you write out 42, it equals 142. Let's see, we got a caller here. What's up, caller?
Yeah, Zach, I don't see a link to the chat, and someone else mentioned that also. For some reason, it says that, click for the live link, but there's no link underneath.
Really? All right, hold on. Let me fix it right now. I'll fix it. It'll be there in 2 seconds.
Thank you.
All right, let me see if I can figure this out real quick. Maybe it's already... No, that's not right. Oh, come on. 1 second, you guys. Let me just get this posted. For the people watching the video who can't get in the live chat, if you click that YouTube icon in the bottom right corner like this, it'll get you there. If you just click that YouTube, it's the same thing. But yeah, that's weird. I swear I posted that there. All right, it should be up now. Let me see. Okay, it's there now. All right. All right. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay, so Panthers Saints, we got two backup quarterbacks. On the surface, to me, it makes sense for the Saints to lose this game just to stay at 13 wins. Again, because of its connection to 99. Let's write that out up here again. Drew Brees is not playing in this game. It's Teddy Bridgewater in his place and a brand new QB, Kyle Allen, who's never started a game. Let me see what jersey numbers these guys wear. Number 5 is Bridgewater. Kyle Allen. Panthers jersey. So he's wearing the number 7, Kyle Allen. 17, the 7th prime. That's interesting. And the Panthers can get their 7th win. Okay. So again, the name Kyle equals 17 and the name Allen equals 17. He's this brand new quarterback. Played college at Houston. He's getting his first career start in week 17. He wears the number 7. 17 is the 7th prime. He can pick up the 7th win. The Saints would stay at 13. Bridgewater, this will be his 30th game. He already has 17 wins, which is interesting. He could potentially get his 12th win at home. Remember, 17 has the gematria 37. 37 is the 12th prime. Bridgewater is 1-0 against the Panthers. He's 4-1 against the NFC South. With a loss, he'd fall to 4-2 on a date with 42 numerology. Teddy Bridgewater could also get his 17th win against the NFC. Again, Kyle Allen never started before, but he's got the 17 connections in a big way. Ron Rivera could potentially pick up his 71st win. The reflection is 17. We've seen a lot of Catholic 71 tributes with the Saints this year. Sean Payton, He's 118 and 73. Carolina equals 73. Could stay at 73 losses. He could pick up his 119th win. The ref here is Bill Vinovich, number 52. Bill Vinovich, number 52. Don't really see how his numbers connect to this game so much. If the Panthers lost with Allen, they would fall to 1-7 in Week 17. The Saints would also improve to 7-1. So I think this game's, it's hard to say what happens in these meaningless games. This game's completely meaningless. The Saints have nothing to play for. The Panthers have nothing to play for. And we got the brand new QB. But we have seen a lot of brand new QB magic this season. So could Kyle Allen continue that trend? All right, you guys are talking about everything but the live decode. All right, Cowboys, Giants. Cowboys have already clinched the division. I didn't see that Dak wasn't playing, though. Make sure he is in. Yeah, unfortunately, there's information's not out on if the Cowboys are resting their starters or not, because I don't think they can gain anything from this game. If the Cowboys did lose, they'd fall to 9-7. 9-7 is like 97 to 25th prime. Giants does equal 25. They could fall to 9-7 in a meaningless game. It's the 113th regular season game. Dallas equals 113. Cowboys lead 65 to 45 to 2. Prescott already has 17 losses. If he starts, question becomes, does he stay at 17 losses in Week 17? In the regular season, Dak could pick up his 17th loss, however. Dak's 3-2 against the Giants today. The name Dak Prescott equals 42. He could improve to 4-2, or he could fall to 3-3. New York's 33. Cowboys is also 33. Oh, it's 16. I should point that out since it's the 16th game of the season. Dak's 12-5 against the NFC East. He's 24-11 against the NFC. He's 24-14 on Sunday. For Eli, none of his numbers really screamed out at me about this game. He's already at 113 losses, 113th regular season game between these teams. Eli could get his 16th loss against the Cowboys. We do have 53 date. 53 is the 16th prime. In 16th game of the season as well. He could potentially, this is Eli, he could get his 43rd win over the NFC East. Dallas Cowboys is 43. He's 87-86 against the NFC. He could become 87-87, and Cowboys is 87. And he's also 98-95 on Sunday. He could get his 99th win, conclude the 99th NFL season. For Garrett, it's his 136th game. He's 76-59. We do have 60 date numerology. Garrett could potentially pick up his 60th loss on the 60 date. Shermer, he's 5-10 with the Giants. trying to be 6-10 or falling to 5-11. Nothing jumped out so big about the birthdays. The ref in this game is Clay Martin, who wears the number 19. And nothing really about his jersey or name either jumping out. So tough game to call because not a lot of clear variables and uncertain who will even start for the Cowboys. But if it is Dak, you know, I think I would favor the Giants just because it would make sense for Dak to pick up his 17th loss in Week 17. We often see the stats go that way. Denham says that only the games that have meaning are worth decoding this week, which is a good point. You know, I was kind of going to suggest that when we make the bets. But still looking at all the games just in case. Some people have to pick games for their weekly contests. Falcons, Buccaneers, another meaningless game. No playoff implications here. The Bucs with the win would finish 5-3 at home on a date with 53 numerology against the Falcons in their 53rd season. The only thing is the Falcons can pick up their 7th win in Week 17, where 17 is the 7th prime. The Falcons lead this series 26-24. They could pick up their 25th loss. Tampa Bay is 25. Doesn't connect to the date, though. The Bucs are 14-12 at home against Atlanta. They could get their 15th win. Tampa's 15, Atlanta's 15. But again, doesn't sync with the date numerology, so hard to be certain about that. Ryan could get his 47th away loss. Tampa Bay is 47. Something real quick. Tampa Bay is also 79. So he could get his 79th loss and 47th away loss. Ryan could, assuming he's starting. I didn't see any information that he wasn't, but again, that's what's hard about this. It's like in these meaningless games, are they going to play these guys? So if Matt Ryan did start, though, he has good numbers to lose. And again, the Bucs would have a 5-3 record at home on a 53 day. So I have to wait till later this evening when maybe they finalize who's starting in some of these games. Brad Allen, the ref for this game, is number 122. So here's a game, Jags at Texans. The Texans have something to play for. They can improve their stock in the playoff standings. If the Texans win, they'll get their 11th win of the season. Remember, 11 has the connection to 99. When you write out 11 with the reverse alphabetic order, it's 99, like the 99th NFL season. Their most known player, J.J. Watt, wears the number 99. The only thing curious here for the Texans is with a loss, they'd fall to 5-3 at home on a date with 53 numerology. This is the 34th game. The Texans lead 20-13. Texans has that gematria 34. Usually that's a good sign. Plus they're at home. If the Texans got the win, it would be their 21st win in the series. That's the 6th triangular number. 1 through 6 added together equals 21. They'd get their 6th home win as well. The Texans are 11-5 at home against the Jags today. Remember, 37, the 12th prime, and 17 equals 37 in gematria. Week 17. Blake Bortles, it's his 76th game. He's 26-49 and 8-29 away. In the regular season, it's his 73rd game. He's 24-48 and 7-28 away. 17 equals 109, the 29th prime. He could pick up his 29th loss. Bortles is 2-7 against the Texans. He's 9-18 against the AFC South. He's 21-36 against the AFC. He's 22-48 on Sunday. For Watson, it's his 22nd game. He's 13-8 and 7-3 at home. He's 1-1 against the Jags. He's 4-3 against the AFC South. Can we have the 53 date? He could become 5-3. He's 11-6 against the AFC. Number 17-37, the 12th prime. He has 12th win against the AFC. He's 9-9 on Sunday. 17 equals 109, kind of like 10-9. The game's 107 days after Watson's birthday. That's sort of like 17. For Marrone, it's his 34th game. He's 16-17. He could become 17-17 in week 17, the coach for the Jags. All-time, he's 31-34. Could stay at 34 losses against the Texans. Houston equals 32. For O'Brien, it's his 80th game. He's 41-38. The birthdays for the coaches, nothing jumped out too big. The ref in this game is Pete Morelli, number 135. Pete Morelli, number 135. Nothing jumped out at me. He's got the 59 gematria, the 17th prime. But there weren't any strong 17s on the board in this matchup. So what it comes back to for me, though, is just the Texans getting that 11th win. Again, 11 has the gematria 99. The Jaguars are also a good team to get the 11th win against. Jacksonville Jaguars equals 66. That's the 11th triangular number. So I suspect the Texans do get the 11th win here. It's a big game for them. It's not a big game for the Jags. Yeah, we got Bortles in there. I know he's starting. So whose stats we just talked about. So I do favor the Texans to get this one. I think 11 in the 99th season makes sense. Chargers Broncos. The Chargers need a lot of teams to lose for their game to have any meaning. So I suspect the Chargers will play just in case a miracle panned out in their favor. This will be the 118th regular season game. That's a big number for Los Angeles. Again, last night we had the Battle of Los Angeles in basketball, and the winning score was 118. This game's not in Los Angeles, but that's just a big number for Los Angeles. On the 118th meridian, Los Angeles' name has two connections to 118. So interesting that it's the 118th matchup. It's the 119th game if you count the playoffs. The Chargers lead 65-51 to 1 in the regular season, 66-51 to 1 all time. The Broncos are 39-13-1 at home in the modern era. Broncos have done very well at home against the Chargers. That means this will be the 53rd game on a date with 53 numerology. Los Angeles does equal 53. Remember, the Broncos beat the Chargers earlier this year in LA. Rivers is 53-55 away in the regular season. Rivers is 51-52 away. We do have the 53 date. He could pick up his 53rd loss. Could also get his 118th win all time in the regular season in the 118th match. Rivers is 12-14 against the Broncos. He's 44-35 against the AFC West. He's 91-67 against the AFC. For Keenum, the game's on his 317th day of his age. That's the 66 prime. Back up here to the the Chargers had the chance to get their 66th regular season win. For Anthony Lynn, he is 20-11. All time, he's 20-12. For Vance Joseph, it's his 32nd game. He's 11-20. Denver's 32. Broncos is 32. He could get his 12th win. Remember, Los Angeles is 37, so it's 17. And 37 is the 12th prime. The ref here is John Perry, number 132. John Perry, number 132. He's got the 53 connection and the 118 connection. Those are big Los Angeles numbers. So more often than not, when we see the overall matchup sync with the city or team name, it's favorable to that team, which means it would be favorable to Los Angeles in this case. Phillip Rivers, where's that number 17 too? And the Chargers could pick up their 12th win of the season and their 7th away win in Week 17. So Broncos at the same time could pick up the 7th home win. So see something real quick. I just want to see what jersey number Case Keenum wears. Number 4. All right, so Denham thinks Chargers will take it, possibly win the division. The Chiefs would have to get upset by the Raiders at home. I don't suspect that'll happen because John Gruden already got his 99th win. Now with a loss, Gruden will be 99-93, what we've been expecting for some weeks. We pointed out probably half the season ago that it made sense for Gruden to finish 99-93. He can get his 93rd loss in Missouri. Missouri equals 93. Let's see here. All right, so Raiders, Chiefs. Let's look at it. Chiefs have a chance for that 12th win. Again, 17 equals 37, the 12th prime. They'd get their 7th home win in Week 17, 17 the 7th prime. I was hoping the Raiders would lose last week to set up the upset narrative here, because if the Chiefs lost, they'd fall to 11-5. Raiders is 115, kind of like 11-5. Mahomes is 115. The other thing that was favorable for the Raiders in this game is they could potentially get their 53rd win against the Chiefs on a date with 53 numerology. All time, the Chiefs lead 64-53-2. Chiefs are 30-22-1 at home in the modern era. For Carr, this is his 78th game. He's 32-45 and 13-25 away. Carr is 2-7 against the Chiefs. Carr is 10-18 against the AFC West. Could get the 11th win. 11 equals 99. Arrowhead Stadium, where he's playing, equals 99. Patrick Mahomes Jr. equals 99. The only thing is, if the Raiders got the upset, it would make Gruden's record 100 wins and 92 losses, and that doesn't have the rhyme and reason. Again, the reason we expect the 93rd loss is because Gruden equals 93, so does Oakland Raiders. And one more time, this game's in Missouri, which has the gematria at 93 as well. So good place to pick it up. Carr's 26 and 31 against the AFC. He can get his 32nd loss. Kansas City's 32. Chiefs is 32. He's 26 and 41 on Sunday. We have a 42 date. For Mahomes, it's his 17th game. He's 12 and 4 and 6 and 1 at home. If he gets that 13th win, it connects to 99. Perfect to close out the 99th NFL regular season. And also the 7th home win, 17, the 7th prime. Mahomes is 1-0 against the Raiders. He's 5-1 against the AFC West. If he's 6-1, it's a bit like 18. Raiders does have the gematria 52, though. Could fall to 5-2 with an upset. Mahomes is also 10-2 against the AFC. He can improve to 11-2. Chiefs, 112. And like 11-2. 11 also equals 99. Gruden can stay at 42 wins on the 42 date. And I think it makes a lot of sense for Gruden to be 99 and 93 is a game away from it happening. We've been talking about it for a while. It's Reed's 96th game with the Chiefs. The game's on Gruden's 136th day of his age. That's the 16th triangular, the 16th game of the season. The ref here is Sean Hockley, number 83. At the 60 gematria, like the 60 date. So I got to imagine Gruden will pick up that loss there. Yeah, if the Chiefs lost, the Patriots would get the #1 seed. Yeah, the Chargers would have to lose too. You're right. So if the Chiefs and Chargers lost, Patriots would get the 1 seed. The QB Denham's talking about was Aaron Rodgers, and I wasn't sure that Rodgers would stay on 99 wins. But yeah, a lot of people thought Rodgers wouldn't win another game and stay on 99. So Denham really likes the Raiders, partly because he bet all his money on the Chargers winning the Super Bowl. but I mean, you could be right. If the Raiders would have lost this past week, I'd say go for the Raiders, because the 99 and 93 record makes a lot more sense. It's not the same as the Aaron Rodgers thing. The reason 93 losses make sense for Gruden is because Gruden equals 93, so does Oakland Raiders. And in this case, so does Missouri, where he can pick up that 93rd loss. I'm okay. I'm just tired, man. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, there is an upset narrative here. The upset narrative is that the Raiders are going to do another prayer for the Patriots, just like how this whole thing started with the Patriots with the Raiders, with the tuck rule and the fumble that wasn't a fumble, and then the miracle field goal. But I do suspect the Raiders lose this game and fall to 1-7 in Week 17, and the Chiefs pick up their 12th win. And again, Gruden finishes 99 and 93, like I've speculated, again, for them at least half the season. So, I'd say Chiefs, but if you want to take a risk, I'm sure the Raiders pay out a lot. Mahomes 115, Raiders 115. And again, that's why I wanted the Raiders to lose last week. I didn't think they would lose, but I wanted them to, just because then it would have set up the perfect narrative here. So the other nice thing for the Raiders, I'd say the best stat for the Raiders in this game is the fact that they could get their 53rd win on a date with 53 numerology in the year before Super Bowl 53. So that's the stat that's probably the best for the Raiders. But I don't know. Then that would screw up John Gruden's record. So don't forget Raiders equals 52 too. All right, 49ers Rams. Been saying for a while we expect the Rams to win 13 games this year. I suspect they do. Again, 13 has the gematria 99. The Rams star defensive player, Aaron Donald, was the 13th pick of the draft. He wears the number 99. Aaron Donald equals 99. We have 53 date. Los Angeles is 53. Nothing jumped out huge about the overall stats in this game. Let's see. Mullins can fall to 1-5 against the NFC. Rams equals 15. He can also fall to 2-4 on Sunday. Rams is also 24. Goff can get that 11th home win, and 11 equals 99, just like 13. Goff can improve to 11-8 at home. Think about how 118 is the Los Angeles number. Goff can get his 11th win against the NFC. The 49ers coach could also potentially get his 11th win. McVay can get his 24th, the Rams number. The game's on Shanahan's 17th day of his age. The ref here is Jerome Boger, number 23. Jerome Boger's got that 59 connection, the 17th prime. 113 Los Angeles, CA's 113. The Rams would also get their 7th home win in week 17. 17 is the 7th prime. The only argument I could make for the Rams losing is the 30. Los Angeles is 37, the 12th prime. 17 is also 37, but I think the 13 is the more symbolic number, especially with Aaron Donald, the 13th pick of the draft, considered one of the best defensive players in the league. And then the other thing I really liked was Goff's record being 11-8 at home. That made a lot of sense. Don't forget 13-3 is a bit like 133 in football is 133. Last year we saw the top 4 teams in the NFL finish 13-3. The Super Bowl was in Minnesota last year. Denham says if you write out 100, that equals 64, like Kansas City Chiefs. Well, we'll observe. If they win, I don't think it'll be because of that. I think it'd be more about because of the 11-5 thing and the 115 and the 53rd win on the 53 date. What's up, everybody? All right, so I got to imagine the Rams get their 13th win here. 13-99 are like peas in a pod. LA is the 13 city, so got to like the Rams. Bears, Vikings. The Vikings have to lose this game for the Eagles to get in the playoffs. And because I think the Eagles are going to get in the playoffs, I expect the Vikings to lose. The the Eagles have more of the flag national anthem narrative, as we well know from last year. And again, that is a part of this season's narrative, especially at the beginning of the year. It hasn't been as strong this year as it was last year, but it's definitely where the NFL season began. So we have the 53 date. The Bears can get their 53rd NFL regular season win on this 53 date. We also have 60 date numerology, and the Vikings can stay on 60 wins. The Bears lead the playoffs 1-0. So this will be the 116th game all time, counting the playoffs. The Vikings lead 60 to 53 to 2 if you count that, but usually it's better to look at the regular season. And I do like that the Bears can get that 53rd win on the 53 day. Remember their big acquisition, the Bears, was Khalil, the guy with the 53 name, who came over on September 1st, 9-1, Chicago Bears, 91. A few other riddles with that. The Vikings are 36-17 at home against the Bears. Bears equals 18. That means, the Bears could get their 18th win to conclude the 2018 season. To be fair, though, 17 equals 37. So does Chicago. So does Vikings. And the Vikings could get that 37th win as well in Week 17 and leave the Bears at 17 wins. But between those two, again, it's 2018. Bears is 18. They're having a very good season. I think it makes sense for the Bears to get that 18th win here. For the QBs, it's Trubisky's 26th game. Remember, the word Bears singular is 26. He's 14-11 and 5-6 away. This is tricky. We know how 12 connects to Week 17. Again, 17 has the Gematria 37. It's the 12th prime. Chicago's also 37. Vikings is 37. I should just put the notes up here in case anybody looks at this later. We could get that 12th loss. If he got the 15th win, what I'd say about that is 15 equals 38, Minnesota equals 38, US Bank Stadium equals 38, all in the most pure cipher. And he'd also improved to 6-6 away. Big number there at the NFL, 66, the 11th triangular number. NFL, 66 in Jewish Gematria. Trubisky's 1-2 currently against the Vikings. He's 3-6 against the NFC North. Becoming 3-7 or 4-6 could make sense in this game. He's 9-9 against the NFC. If he wins, he becomes 10-9. Remember, 17 equals 109. He's 13-9 on Sunday. For Cousins, it's his 74th game. He's 34, 37-2, and 21-15 at home. If he lost, he'd get his 38th loss in Minnesota. In the regular season, he can get his 37th loss. And again, usually the regular season is more important. Chicago equals 37, so does 17. Cousins is 2-1 against the Bears. He's 7-3-1 against the NFC North. He's 25-29-1 against the NFC. He's 33-27-2 on Sunday. The game is on Trubisky's 133rd day of his age. Football's 133. Minnesota's 133. And look how it is for Cousins, too. For Matt Nagy, the Bears coach, he's 11-4. You can get that 12th win against Chicago 37, the 12th prime. If he stayed on 11, the thing about staying on 11 is 11 has the Gematria 99 like Illinois, like it's the Bears' 99th season. The numbers really do go a little bit back and forth in this game, but because of the Eagles, it makes me favor the Bears. I do expect the Eagles to sneak in the playoffs, and they can't do it if the Vikings win. The Vikings would have a better record. So let me check something real quick. Just want to see if there's any updates. Earlier, I didn't see anything that Trubisky wasn't playing. But the Vikings definitely have more to play for in this game. So Mongo says Vikings have a new offensive coordinator narrative. The Vikings have a new offensive coordinator for this week? That's true. We need to look at that angle. When did this happen? So this happened earlier this season in December. All right, let's check out this new offensive coordinator. I missed this narrative. I'm surprised nobody brought this up until this week. Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski. I wish I know exactly what day this move was made. Let's just take a peek, though, and let's just see if anything lines up for this game with Kevin Stefanski. May 8th. Let's just see how it lines up here. That old 36. The game comes 236 days after his birthday, or a span of 237 days. All right, hold up. Let's look at this real quick. I thought the Vikings had to lose for the Eagles to get in. Yeah, the Seahawks are already in. It's just down to the Vikings and the Eagles right now. So Eagles have to win, Vikings have to lose for Eagles to get in. Check something here real quick. The ref for this game is Clete Blakeman, number 34. And I didn't see a big connection to him in this game. He's got the 59 thing with his surname. 59 is the 17th prime. He's got the 157 thing, the 37th prime. And I'd say those 37s probably go more in favor of Chicago in this game. Well, maybe not. I guess they could go either way. The Vikings could get their 37th win at home against the Bears or their 18th loss. Make this note here that Blakeman equals 157, the 37th prime. Let me I know what I should look at real quick here. Maybe we can get a nice stat here. Minnesota Vikings Pro Football Reference. Let's see. I'm just going to look at their playoff record and see if anything makes sense. Let's see. So the Vikings are 20-29. Eagles are 22-21. Hmm. All right, here, let me just review real quick this narrative. So, one of the more important games of the week, Bears and Vikings. A big stat on the board is the Bears can get their 53rd win on a date with 53 numerology against the Vikings in the regular season. The Vikings could also potentially get their 61st win, which is the 18th prime number. Here we are in 2018. Bears does equal 18, but we don't have a 61 connection in the date. We do have a 60 connection, which could suggest that the Vikings stay at 60 wins. Every single week, we see how important the date is. If the Bears win on the road, they become 5-3 away. The Vikings become 5-3 at home. And that helps the team from Pennsylvania 53 sneak into the playoffs, the Eagles. The Vikings are 36-17 at home against the Bears. They could get their 37th win. When you write out 17 as a word, it equals 37. Same as Chicago, same as Vikings. 37 is the 12th prime number. The Bears could also potentially get their 12th win. These numbers could go in their favor as well. So, Trubisky's win-loss record, it's not very clear. John pointed out he's 3-6. He could become 3-7. He could also become 4-6 because Chicago and Vikings are both 46. If Trubisky won in week 17, he'd become 10-9 against the NFC. 17's 109. Cousins' win-loss record seems to make the most sense with a loss. He can get his 37th loss in week 17 against Chicago. Chicago in 17-37. I don't really see anything favorable for Cousins' win column. I only see something that makes sense with a loss for Cousins. And again, I think in terms of the overall NFL narrative, again, having to do with the flag and the national anthem, it makes more sense for the Eagles to sneak into the playoffs because the Vikings don't really have any connection to that riddle. Another thing to consider, though, if the Vikings did win, the Bears would stay at 11 wins. 11 has the gematria of 99, like Illinois, like it's the Bears' 99th season. But the date numerology being one of the best indicators is very good here for a Bears win. So... All right, hold up. You guys are confusing me by saying if the Vikes win, the Bears are going to have to play them against next week. If the no, they wouldn't unless the Eagles lost too. If the Eagles lost, then they could play. If the Vikings lost and the Eagles lost, the Vikings would still get in the playoffs. Okay. Remember, Nick Foles He has his initials have a lot to do with the flag's birthday, June 14th, which we were talking about last year. So Nick Foles, I don't think he has so much to do with Christmas as much as the flag riddle. Okay. Bengals Steelers. Here's another game with playoff implications. It's week 17. The Bengals could potentially pick up their 7th win with an upset. 17, the 7th prime. Ohio, the 17th state. What jersey number does Driscoll wear? I don't expect that to happen, but we're just exploring all angles here. Okay, Driscoll wears number 6. So with the Steelers win, they become 5-3 at home on a date with 53 numerology. Pennsylvania is also 53. It's the 97th regular season game. The Steelers lead 61-35. It's the 99th game all time. Steelers lead 63-35. Nothing really popped out for Driscoll. Big Ben can get his 157th win, which is the 37th prime number. 17 equals 37. Ben can get his 59th win against the AFC North, the 17th prime in week 17. Ben can get his 107th win against the AFC and stay at 53 losses on the 53 date. 107 is a little bit like 17. Can stay at 61 losses on Sunday, the 18th prime. The thing here is the ref, Carl Sheffer's number 51. The number 51 makes me a little bit nervous just because that's the big Cincinnati number. Carl Sheffers is also 59, though, the 17th prime, and all the 17s seem to line up with the Steelers. So Steelers can also be improved to 9-6 in the win and loss column against Cincinnati 96. So I do expect the Steelers to take this game. Again, the 17s and the date numerology for the win record are good indicators. The thing about 961 having a square root of 31, that is a good point about 961. 961 square root of 31, Steelers equals 31. So the thing about the Vikings is they don't have a connection to that number 31, but the Steelers do. Steelers is 31 in the most pure cipher. So it makes sense for the Steelers. I don't necessarily see the connection to it for the Vikings. If there was some big 11 on the board for the Vikings, maybe, because 31's the 11th prime. All right, Cardinals, Seahawks. Seahawks are already in. Seahawks can become 10-6, 106 days after Pete Carroll's birthday. They can get their 10th win against Arizona. 10 equals 42. Arizona equals 42. Washington's the 42nd state. Let's see. Russell Wilson can get his 75th win. Arizona Cardinals, 75 in the most pure cipher. Carroll can get his 122nd win all time in Seattle on the 122nd Meridian. Always a big number with that city. The ref is Ron Torbert, number 62. I didn't really see how he factored in. He's the guy with the multiple 62 connections. But I think Seahawks will get the job done here and improve to 10-6. Cardinals can fall to 2-6 in the 206 area code. So I think that should happen. Yeah, sorry about that, man. I'm still bitter about that Seahawks 49ers game a couple weeks ago. Thought it made so much sense for Wilson to be 12-2 in his 122nd game in the battle of the 122nd Meridian. All right, Eagles, Redskins, another game with playoff implications. Eagles can become 4-4. Remember, 17. Whoops. 17 equals 44. Eagles can become 4-4 away. We have the 53-date numerology. Pennsylvania 53. Last year they won the Super Bowl on the 53-year, on what would have been the 53rd birthday of Jerome Brown. The Redskins lead 85 to 77 to 6. Washington Redskins 85. Redskins lead the playoffs 1-0, so they lead 86 to 77 to 6 all time. It is the Redskins' 87th season, and Philadelphia Eagles does equal 87. Part of how we like them improving to 8-7 last week. That's just the potential upset narrative for the Redskins. I wouldn't count on it. Foles' 48th game, he's 28-19 and 11-10 away. Remember, 17 equals 109. That's the 29th prime. Foles can get his 29th win. He can get that 12th win as well. 17 equals 37, the 12th prime. So good week for win 29 and win 12. Foles' 44th regular season game, he's 25-18 and 10-10 away. Foles is 2-3 against the Skins. He's 6-7 against the NFC East. DC on the 77th meridian. You know, that's a big number there in DC. He's 21-16 against the NFC. He can get his 22nd win, Eagles, or he could get his 17th loss in week 17. He's 29-19 on Sunday. For Josh Johnson, it's his 8th game. He's 1-6 and 0-3 at home. I think it makes a lot of sense for him to fall to 1-7 in week 17, like falling to 1-6 in week 16, like how he improved to 1-5 in week 15. So I think we have a pattern here with Josh Johnson, the reason he was brought in. His first game, he gets the win, becomes 1-5. I think this pattern follows out. Johnson's 0-1 against the Eagles, 1-4 against the NFC East, 6-13 against the NFC. He's 9-21 on Sunday. He can get his 22nd loss. Oh, I was like, wait a minute. How are these numbers so big? It's because he's come into a lot of games where he didn't actually play. So these splits aren't too meaningful, but he could get his 22nd loss. Eagles 22. Again, these stats here from Pro Football Reference, they count any game a QB ever appeared in. These stats here are the games he started. That's the difference. Peterson can get that 29th win. You know how that connects to week 17. Gruden can get his 44th loss. 17 equals 44. Game's 333 days after Peterson's birthday. 301 days after Gruden's. The ref here is Craig Rolstad. He's the guy with the Jesuit connections. That's why we like the Saints to beat the Steelers last week. Is Philadelphia Eagles 152? It is. Okay, so this guy's name is like Philadelphia Eagles. All right. So I gotta go with the Eagles here. I've been thinking they're gonna sneak in the playoffs, and I still think that. Let me come out to the chat. Jen says, did anyone see last Sunday night game? Chiefs building window lights 9 on one side, 12 on front. I didn't see it, but I'd like for you to elaborate on that thought. 9 on one side, 12 on the front. Carl says I've been jamming to some Al Green. I do see the Al Green thing right here. I usually just put it on the Motown playlist, honestly. I don't normally pick out Al Green, but that's probably why he's up there. I don't think Al Green was technically on the Motown label, but I'm sure that's why it's up there. $9.12. Well, what $9.12 makes me think of right away is Andrew Luck's birthday. His birthday is September 12th. If you read it the other way, 12.9, America equals 129 in Jewish gematria. Queasy says Eagles go 5-2 their last 7 games of the season. Here's what does that mean they'd win this game? Let's see. I think that means they'd probably win. Let's just look at their schedule here, though. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they lost that one. 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2. Yeah, they'd have to win to be 5-2. After winning Super Bowl 52. The other thing is if the Redskins lost, they'd fall to 7-9. And 79's a bit like, or 7-9's a bit like 79, the 22nd prime Eagles 22. So I'm going to go with the Eagles there. Browns-Ravens. Browns-Ravens, next game. So we got the Battle of the Cleveland Browns. Remember the Ravens came out of the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns lost their team. They became the Baltimore Ravens. They're saying Baker Mayfield should be Rookie of the Year, but I think that's a weird thing to say in light of Lamar Jackson, what he's done for the Ravens. And if the Ravens beat the Browns in this game and Baker Mayfield wins the Rookie of the Year, just remember that. But what's real interesting here about this game is if the Browns did win and spoil the Ravens season, they'd be 3-5 away, and Browns equals 35 and QB's 35. Mayfield, you know, he got a big win becoming 3-5. So let me make a note of that here. But again, in light of the national anthem, the national anthem was written in Baltimore, and all year I've speculated the Ravens have to be part of the playoff picture because of that. If the Ravens lost in this game, they would fall to 5-3 on a date with 53 numerology at home. So that's one thing to consider. But, of course, it doesn't go this way every week, you know. Miami had a lot of things line up last week. The date numerology, the record, it didn't go that way. We've seen plenty of times where it doesn't go that way. Ohio's the 17th state. And again, the Browns from Ohio. The Ravens could pick up their 10th win against Baker Mayfield. Okay, we have 42 date numerology. When you write out 10, it equals 42. When you write out Mayfield, it equals 42. The Ravens, this will be the 40th game between the two teams. The Ravens lead 29-10. The Ravens are 15-4 at home against Cleveland. If they got their 16th win, we have 53 date numerology. 53 is the 16th prime number. Ohio also equals 16. They could potentially become 16-4. For the QBs, it's Mayfield's 13th game. He's 6-6 and 2-4 away. With a win, he'd become 3-4. With a loss, he'd become 2-5. Ravens equals 25 in the most pure cipher, 34 with the S exception. Maryland's also 34. Remember last week, the ref for the Baltimore game had the big 34 connection. Mayfield with a win could become 3-4, but 2-5 would make sense as well. Mayfield is 1-0 against the Ravens. He's 3-1 against the AFC North. If he won, he'd be 4-1, and he'd do it in Baltimore. Baltimore's 41. Also the 13th prime. It is his 13th game. He's 5-5 against the AFC. He's 5-6 on Sunday He could improve to 6-6 against the Baltimore Ravens 66. He's 3-1 in December. The win, he'd be 4-1 in Baltimore. For Jackson, it's his 7th game. Again, it's week 17, 17 the 7th prime. He's 5-1 and 3-0 at home. Ohio has this gematria of 61. He could become 6-1. It's the Ohio team. Jackson's 0-1 against the Browns. I don't think he started that game, though. I think that's one of the games where he was just coming in, handling some snaps. He's 2-3 against the AFC North. With a win, he'd be 3-3. Cleveland's 33. He's 7-4 against the AFC. He's 8-5 on Sunday. With a win, he'd be 9-5. Again, remember, these stats count games that he didn't start, though. Games where he just made an appearance. The game's 260 days, or a span of 261 after Mayfield's birthday. The game's 357 days, or a span of 358 after Jackson's. For Greg Williams, the coach of the Browns, he's 5-2. He could fall to 5-3 on a 53 date. All time, he's 22-33. He could get his 34th loss against the Ravens in Maryland. Ravens in Maryland, 34. For Harbaugh, it's his 176th game. He's 103-72. The game's on Harbaugh's 99th day of his age. The ref here is Sean Smith, number 14. He's got the 44 connection, like 17, but nothing here that really seems to play to either team's favor. Smith's 66 like Baltimore Ravens. So this one is tricky in terms of the numbers because you can look at these numbers and see a narrative both ways. It's just that in my mind all season, and it comes down to this game, I've said the Ravens make sense to be a part of the playoff picture in light of being the home of the national anthem. So I don't know what Cleveland, Ohio has to do with the national anthem. I know what Baltimore does. Let me yeah, the Browns could be the spoiler. John says Ravens can receive 60th home loss on a date with 60 numerology. Ravens can fall to 5-3 on home on date with 53 numerology. Yeah, that's what scares me is the date numerology. Was week 17 155? Let me take a peek at that. I don't know what cipher you're using for that. But I haven't found a lot of relevance in writing out the word week. It's usually just the number that matters. Let me check that M cube thing you're saying with the NFL teams. What's going on here? NFL teams. Series records. Baltimore Ravens. They can get their 60th home loss on a 60 date. It is true. That's a good observation. Whoops. All right, let me add that to the notes here. If If the Browns did win, both teams would have a 7 connection in their record. Again, it's week 17, the 7th prime. And I gotta say that more, just looking at the traditional stats, does line up for the Browns in this game. There is more that lines up for the Browns here. There are numbers that go both ways. And, you know, the only thing is, I'd be really surprised if the Ravens did not make the playoffs with the whole national anthem thing on the line. Look at the standings real quick in the AFC. Let's see. So it's the Ravens and Steelers. The Steelers would get in, and the Ravens would not. Is that right? 1, 2. Yeah. The Ravens would miss the playoffs. Okay, here's something to think about. We've been saying Baltimore, right? There's always these riddles that run through the Colts and the Ravens because the Colts are originally from Baltimore. Perhaps the Colts could fit in for Baltimore. You know, perhaps they carry the Baltimore narrative. If the Ravens didn't make it, I'd have to think that the Colts did make it. They're not the Baltimore team anymore, but they still carry the Baltimore riddles. Because, yeah, if you just made me pick on this individual game, I'd say more lines up here for the Browns. And you know how the NFL loves to do black QBs and the black versus white QB narrative. We've already seen the headlines the last couple of weeks about how Baker Mayfield should be MVP, even though Lamar Jackson's really done more for his team. And if Baker Mayfield beat the Ravens and spoiled their season, you know, that would help the national narrative. So, all right, we'll come back to this game. We're going to review everything. Let's look at Colts Titans. So Colts Titans. Remember, Andrew Luck has never lost to the Titans. They used to be the Houston Oilers, and his father, Oliver Luck, used to play for the Houston Oilers. Both teams are 9-6. The Colts are 3-4 away. The Titans are 6-1 at home. And remember, 17 has that gematria of 44. Colts could improve to 4-4 away with a win. It's the 48th regular season game. The Colts lead 32-15. 32-15. Titans lead the playoffs 1-0. Remember when you write out 16, it equals 33? It is the 16th game for both teams. The Titans could potentially pick up their 16th win, or the Colts can get their 33rd win. Titans lead the playoffs 1-0. It's the 49th game counting the playoffs. The Colts lead 32-16. The Titans could get their 17th win all time in week 17. Whoever wins this game will be 10-6. Tennessee equals 106 where the game is. It's Luck's 92nd game. He's 55-36 and 23-23 away. It's Luck's 86th regular season game. He's 52-33 and 22-20 away. And we have the 53-day. Luck is 10-0 against the Titans. Never lost to him. The name Luck in the most Pierce cipher is 11. I said earlier this year that I do expect Andrew Luck to begin his career 11-0 against the Titans in tribute to his father, who once played for this franchise when they were the Houston Oilers. And I should also make that note up here about 16, because Oilers equals 33. They used to be the Oilers, the Titans. Luck's 23-7 against the AFC South. He's 39-24 against the AFC. He's 47-27 on Sunday. He's 7-9 on primetime. 89 is the 11th Fibonacci number. It could improve to 8 and 9 potentially. He's 16-6 in December. He could get his 17th win. 17 is the 7th prime. He could potentially get a 7th loss as well. For Mariota, it's his 58th game. He's 28-29 and 16-11 at home. He could get his 17th win in week 17. 17 does equal 109. The 29th prime number. Mariota's 56th game in the regular season. He's 27-28 and 16-11 at home. Again, he can get that 17th win, week 17. Mariota is 2-4 against the Colts. Could potentially improve to 3-4 in Tennessee. Tennessee 34. He's 9-9 against the AFC South. Number 17 again equals 109, kind of like 10-9. He's 18-23 against the AFC. He could get his 24th loss. Colts 24. He's 23-24 on Sunday, though. Colts is 24. And remember, Mariota, his stats are kind of screwed up, too, because there's been games where he didn't start, but he's played in. That's the thing about when you use Pro Football Reference. They get those stats in there. He's 4-3 on prime time. It is a 53 date, but also 17 is 44. He's 9-6 in December. The thing about 53, though, is it's the 16th prime. 53, the 16th prime, 16th game of the season. Mariota's 9-6 in December. 9-6. The game's 109 days after Luck's birthday. 17 equals 109. 29th prime. The game's 61 days, or a span of 62 after Mariota's. Frank Reich, rookie coach, and Vrabel, they're both 9-6. The game is 26 days after Reich's birthday, span of 27. The game's 138 days, span of 139 after Vrabel's. Let me just check their name gematria, just make sure there's nothing there. Like Vrabel. Like Vrabel's 44. Like Reich. Yeah. Both got connections to the date and week. What jumps out about this game is Walt Anderson is the ref, number 66. It's the Colts' 66th season. Colts equals 66. It could be a big clue right there. 66 is also the 11th triangular number. The ref's name, Walt Anderson, equals 47 like Luck. And Luck equals 11, going for 11-0 against Titans. Walt Anderson equals 47. Luck equals 47. 47 has numerology of 11. I decided to look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning for this game, just because he played his college ball at Tennessee and he played the majority of his career with the Colts. This game comes 281 days after Peyton Manning's birthday. That's the 60th prime. We have the 60 date. I'm noticing now that the coach, Frank Reich, also equals 60. Coach of the Colts. So, I don't know if that really means anything. I just decided to look at it since Peyton Manning has a connection to the state of Tennessee and, again, the Colts. But it's a tough call here looking at the numbers. The numbers really could go either way in this game. There's connections both ways. But I did say earlier this year that I do expect Andrew Luck to start 11-0 against the Titans. And him starting 11-0 and doing it in this game to get his team to the playoffs, I mean, that would be quite symbolic against his father's old team. But Mariota does have some good numbers here. Again, 17th win in week 17. So we see how that lines up more often than not with the QBs. That's what's so dangerous here. For Luck, it was that he could get his 17th win in December. Luck can also get his 53rd win on the 53 day. Luck could get his 37th loss all time. 17 to 137. I just thought about something else up here. Tennessee equals 137. That's the 33rd prime. Colts could get that 33rd win in their 16th game of the season over the team that used to be the Oilers in Tennessee. So the ref being number 66 too. That number doesn't connect to the Titans, but it does connect to the Colts, and it's the Colts' 66th season. And again, 66 has the relationship with 11. So I got to stick with my guns and ride with the Colts here. I've had that theory about Luck starting 11-0 against this team for quite a while. We'll review all the games. The Saints are starting Teddy Bridgewater, and the Panthers are starting a QB who's never before. John always has these obscure values for what cipher does Tennessee equal 101 in? Let me see. Is it like with the reverse exceptions? I don't see 101 anywhere. John, oh, Jewish ordinal. I don't use that cipher. I'm not even sure that that's a real cipher. Yeah, so. Oh, shoot. Keep doing that. Dave says, who was the ref that killed us on the Detroit game? It was that same ref. It was number 66. It was the same ref, Dave. That was the only game where where the refs really misled us. So still, looking overall at the record, overwhelmingly, the refs have been quite the indicator. The only game where they sent us a foul really was that Detroit game. Let me come back and look at what John's saying here. Yeah. Okay, we covered that. I'm doing the live stream right now. Okay. All right, let's see here. All right, so it is a tight narrative, but I don't know. That ref number 66, the relationship with 11, the Colts 66 season. And here's what I would do for this game. If you see Baltimore get eliminated, I'd ride with the Colts because Baltimore's got to make it into this playoff narrative with the national anthem. And the original Baltimore team was the Colts. So if the Ravens get knocked out by the Browns, I think that's a good sign for the Colts to get in. If the Ravens win, I still favor the Colts. But if you think it's going to be the Titans like John, stick to your guns. I just don't know why you'd be going with Jewish ordinal gematria for your Tennessee stat. We haven't seen Jewish ordinal connect to anything this year. So, all right, let's review all the games. Dolphins at Bills. This game has no meaning. It's a little bit tricky because there's a narrative that lines up both ways. Both QBs wear the number 17, Tannehill and Josh Allen. The thing about the Bills winning is they'd be 4-4, 17 equals 44, Allen equals 44. The Dolphins would also fall to 1-7 in week 17. So the records make more sense with the Bills win here. It's the 106th regular season match. The Dolphins lead 60-44-1. If the Dolphins won, they'd get their 61st win. That's the 18th prime number. It is 2018. Bills is 18. They do it on the Bills field. But it is a 60 date, and the Dolphins could be stuck at 60 wins. The Bills would pick up their 45th win. Also symbolic because Buffalo Bills is 45, so is Miami. The Bills are 28-26 at home in the modern era. When you write out 17, it equals 109, which is the 29th prime. They get that 29th win. Tannehill, what's scary is he could pick up his 17th away win in week 17. Let's see. Josh Allen, his stats could make sense either way. The game's on Tannehill's 157th day of his age. That's the 37th prime. 17 equals 37. McDermott, the coach of the Bills, if he won, he'd stay at 40, or he'd stay at 17 losses in week 17. The ref's name, John Hussey, has a connection with the Buffalo Bills. So, I think this game's dangerous. If you put a gun to my head and said pick one, I'd say, well, I'm going to take the Bills, but I'm not super confident. I'll go out to the chat real quick to see if anybody has any home runs. Anybody got an opinion on Bills Dolphins? All right, looks like nobody cares about this game, so probably a good game to stay away from. Lions Packers. I think it's symbolic here for the Packers to get their 7th win in week 17. 17's the 7th prime. G's the 7th letter. Packers love to beat up the Lions. With a Packers win as well, they get their 99th win in the 99th NFL season. So that makes good sense to me. It's the 179th game all time, which is the 41st prime connecting to Green Bay and Rodgers. Packers can get their 37th home win in week 17. Again, 17 written out. He has gematria 37. So take the Packers there. Somebody said, are we sure? Well, nothing's a certainty when you're gambling, but I do like the Packers here. There's multiple narratives that make sense for them, and I don't really see anything on the board for the Lions. So let me just look back at Stafford's stats one more time. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. He could get his 28th away win. Packers does equal 28. So, I mean, that's the one narrative there for Stafford, but that doesn't feed into the date numerology. The date numerology goes with the Packers, the 99th win in the 99th season. I just like that too much. Jets, Patriots. Patriots get that 11th win. 11 has the gematria 99 like New England. Do it over the 11th state, New York. Jets can also get their 12th loss. Patriots equals 37 like 17, 37 the 12th prime. That makes good sense. 53 date numerology. Patriots 53. Patriots would be undefeated at home. Tough season on the road. Tom Brady can get his 136th win in his 16th game of the season, 136th, the 16th triangular, and he can get his 115th home win, finishing 11-5 on the year. The ref didn't really have anything here. but it's a big game for the Patriots. They want to get this win, and good to throw in a parlay because do they cover 13.5? I mean, it's possible they win by 4 touchdowns, but it's still a lot of points to bet on for a spread. Let's see. All right, Panthers Saints. We have 2 backup QBs in. Kyle Allen, first start ever for the Panthers. He wears the number 7. Kyle equals 17. Allen equals 17. 17, the 7th prime. He could get his team to 7 wins, or his team could finish 1-7 away. And for the Saints, it's Teddy Bridgewater who's in. I would stay away from this game just because really anything could happen here. But if the Saints finish with 13 wins on the season, 13 has the relationship with 99 like Drew Brees. And we've been speculating that that's probably what will happen. Let me just check something here real quick. Panthers. Bridgewater's already at 17 wins, too. If he loses, he stays there. He'd get his 13th loss. The Saints would end the season with 13 wins. Teddy could get his 17th win, though, against the NFC. So the ref is Bill Venovich, number 52. No real strong clue there. I think Panthers has Gematria 52. But if you use the rule for H, the 19th letter in reverse, Panthers is 52. So anyway, if you're somebody who has to pick every game, I would pick the Panthers just because it makes sense for the Saints to finish on 13 wins. But there's no real strong clues for which way this game will go, unless it's all about Kyle Allen in his debut coming out and having a nice game in a meaningless game. He is Mr. 17. Okay, so you guys are talking about the Patriots game. Here, I'll just play devil advocate with why the Patriots could lose. I don't expect them to, but if the Patriots lost, they'd be 10-6. They'd be 10-6, the Patriots would. Bill Belichick is born on the 106th day of the year, and he's from Tennessee, which equals 106. So could it be a prophecy thing? Prophecy's 106? I don't think so, though. The Patriots need a win here. The Jets aren't very good. And, the Patriots are playing for the miracle chance of being the number 1 seed. So, and they're also playing, to show that they're not washed up and done for. So, and of course, it's all scripted in a narrative, but I mean, I'm just talking within the NFL narrative. So, Walt Coleman is number 65. I guess the numerology of 65 is 11. There's another sign out there that we're going for win number 11 here. An 11th win over the 11th state, I think that makes sense too. The only thing I could say is, Bill Belichick, born on the 106th day of the year from Tennessee, but I don't think that that's more relevant in light of it being the 99th NFL season. Remember, the Patriots began this season with 523 wins, the 99th prime. So I feel like they have to finish the regular season with a 99 riddle too, and only 11 does that. All right. So somebody said you can't ride the Saints 99 theme if Drew Brees isn't playing. But again, it's the 99th NFL season. So I'm just riding the theme of the NFL season. And 13 is the number that connects to 99. That said, if the Saints win, they become 7-1 at home, the big Catholic number. They also become 14-2 on a date with 42 numerology, where if you write out 42, it's 142. So there's no guarantees here in this game. The Saints don't have to win. They're the top seed. The playoffs run through them in the NFC. And the QB that the Panthers have in Kyle Allen, all I can say about him is he's the 17 show for week 17. Plus, he wears the number 7. He could get his team their 7th win or their 7th away loss. So, bet at your own risk there. Cowboys, Giants. It's the 113th game in the regular season. Dallas is 113. Usually that's a good indicator for a team. Dallas can get their 10th win. 10 equals 39, like New York equals 39, like G-Men equals 39, like Cowboys equals 39. Got to use the rule on S to get that 39 for Cowboys. Let's see here. Cowboys would get their 66th win as well. That's the 11th triangular in the 11th state. Dak Prescott could stay at 17 losses with a win. In the regular season, however, he could pick up his 17th loss, which makes it dicey. Dak's 3-2 against the Giants. With a win, he becomes 4-2 on a 42 date. Dak Prescott's also 42. NYC's 42. The Giants won Super Bowl 42. He could also fall to 3-3. New York's 33. Cowboys is 33. 16's 33. It's the 16th game. The other thing about this game is the Cowboys have nothing to win or lose here, and it's not even a certainty that Dak's going to start, and that information's not out yet. So I'd say before you put any money on this game, I'd look and see who's even playing. If the Cowboys did lose, they'd fall to 9-7. 97's the 25th prime. Giants 25. Giants could get a meaningless win. I think really my advice for this weekend is these games that have no meaning, maybe just stay away from them. They don't really connect to any narratives. Eli could get his 43rd win. Eli could get that 43rd win over the Dallas Cowboys. That's in the NFC East. If he lost, he'd be 87-87, however, and Cowboys equals 87. The 199 on the board for Eli is he can get his 99th Sunday win. And perhaps that is one to ride with. Eli is supposed to play tomorrow. Last time I looked. Just check and see if there's any update. Eli's starting. Him going for that. Yeah, so Manning's still supposed to start. Manning can get that 99th Sunday win in his last Sunday game of the 99th NFL season. So let me even make it bigger for people who run back over these notes. Eli Manning does equal 98 for the record, his name. But still, it is the 99th season. Let's see. Jason Garrett could get his 60th loss on the date with 60 numerology. The ref is Clay Martin, number 19. Again, I didn't really see anything with this ref. Clay Martin. Martin's 87. New York Giants are 64 like Clay Martin. But the 87's there too. So let's make the notes real quick. Falcons, Bucks. Matt Ryan's supposed to play in this game. Winston's supposed to play in this game. If the Bucks won, they'd improve to 5-3 at home on the date with 53 numerology. Some numbers make sense in the standings if Tampa Bay pulls out the W in Tampa. Matt Ryan's win-loss record would actually make a lot of sense with a loss in Tampa Bay. He'd get his 79th loss, Tampa Bay 79. He'd get his 47th away loss, Tampa Bay 47. There weren't really any other big indicators here. The ref wasn't too helpful in this game. Brad Allen, number 122. I don't see it. Named 69 like Atlanta, but we haven't seen guarantees in the ref name gematria. So all right, Jaguars Texans. This was one of the meaningful games. The thing that's scary here for the Texans is they could fall to 5-3 with a loss. Texans, they could fall to 5-3 with a loss at home on a date with 53 numerology. It is the 34th game between these teams. Texans equals 34. Usually, again, when the matchup number points to a certain team, it's favorable for that team. And just double check, Jaguars don't have a connection to that. I do not believe they do. They don't. The Jaguars are a good team to get your 11th win against, what the Texans are going for. Jacksonville Jaguars equals 66, the 11th triangular. Again, if they get that 11th win, 11 has the relationship with 99, the 99th NFL season. Their star player, J.J. Watt, wears the number 99. The Texans are also 11-5 at home against the Jags. They can improve to 12-5, 37 the 12th prime, 17-37. Bortles can get his 29th away loss. That makes sense in week 17. Watson can become 5-3 against the AFC South with a win. He can get his 12th win against the AFC, which makes sense in week 17. He can become 10-9 on Sunday, which makes sense in week 17. Maybe I should zoom this in more. Doug Marrone, it's his 34th game. He's facing the Texans. He could even his record at 17-17. This is the Jaguars coach in week 17. Doug Marrone's win record would make sense if the Jags got the upset. The two things that are on the board for the Jags are the home record for Texans with a loss and Doug Marrone. Other things are favorable for the Texans. And again, I just like the Texans getting that 11th win because it has the strong relationship with 99. So all right, Chargers Broncos. Another game that possibly has meaning. The Chargers don't really have anything to lose, but they have a lot to gain. It is the 118th regular season matchup between the Chargers and Broncos. Big LA number 118. Again, the city on the 118th meridian with the 118 gematria. It's also the 53rd game in Denver in the modern era, on a date with 53 numerology, another Los Angeles number. 53 is the 16th prime. Rivers, with a loss, would stay at 53 away wins. That's one concerning thing for Rivers. He could also get his 118th regular season win in the 118th match or 53rd away loss. And let me just see if there's any update here. I saw that they said the Chargers were considering resting everybody and just accepting that no miracle is going to go in their favor. Let me just see something. It wasn't updated earlier today. Okay, so Rivers is probably going to go. The only thing concerning, though, for Rivers is he could get his 53rd away loss in the regular season and stay at 53 away wins all time on this date with 53 numerology. There's actually a lot of numbers in Rivers splits that are not good for him this week. And remember, the Broncos did beat the Chargers in LA earlier this year. Vance Joseph, the coach of the Broncos, he also has good numbers to get the win here, and Anthony Lynn has the same numbers to get the loss. John Perry, the ref of this game, he has the 53-118 connection, which again are the big Los Angeles numbers. So tricky game here. I just wish there was a clear 17 on the board. Rivers does wear the number 17. About the only 17 on the board for this game. I'm actually surprised by how big the spread is in the Chargers' favor being on the road and that they already lost to the Broncos once this year. Something else to consider for the Broncos is it's week 17, the 7th prime. They could get their 7th win. Chargers can also get their 7th away win. So usually when the matchups point to a certain city or team, again, it's good for them, and the Chargers do have that going for them here. It's just Rivers' win-loss record is concerning for the date numerology and the city he's playing in. Let me see. That's a good point about the Broncos becoming 7-9. That is a really good point there. And then the other thing about the Chargers losing is it does potentially help out the Patriots, and we know how the NFL loves to script around the Patriots. So okay, I think this game's dangerous here. I'll look at this more, but a risky game. Okay, Raiders Chiefs. If you're someone that likes a big payout, it might be worth putting a little bit of money down on the Raiders just in case they win, because I'm sure it would pay out at least 6-1, probably even better than that. But I do expect the Chiefs to get this win. And let's just, again, look at it. The big thing for the Raiders is this game's on a date with 53 numerology, and the Raiders could get their 53rd win in the series. And the problem with that is if the Raiders won, it would screw up John Gruden's overall stats. John Gruden right now has 99 wins and 92 losses. With one more loss, he gets his 93rd loss. Gruden is 93. Oakland Raiders is 93. And Missouri, where the game is also 93. If the Raiders stayed at 52 losses, there is some symbolism to that because Raiders is 52. I'm sure you guys remember the Chiefs-Raiders game last year where the Chiefs were doing really well and the Raiders weren't. And I said, watch, the Raiders are going to get this upset on primetime. It's all about 52. And they called a million penalty flags at the end. And then Derek Carr's 50-second pass was the game winner. Anyway, 52 does have symbolism to the Raiders. So maybe they just stay right there. For the QBs, let's see what jumps. Carr could get his 11th win against the AFC West with an upset. 11 equals 99, like Arrowhead Stadium, like Patrick Mahomes Jr. He'd stay at 18 losses to conclude the 2018 season. He's 26-31 against the AFC, meaning he could get his 32nd loss. Kansas City's 32, Chiefs is 32. He's 26-41 on Sunday, meaning he can get his 42nd loss on a 42 date. For Mahomes, it's his 17th game in week 17. He could get his 13th win. 13 equals 99, like Patrick Mahomes Jr., like Arrowhead Stadium. He could also get his 7th home win in week 17, 17 the 7th prime. Mahomes is 1-0 against the Raiders. He's 5-1 against the AFC West. Raiders has that gematria 52. He could fall to 5-2 with an upset. He's 10-2 against the AFC. Chiefs equals 112. 11-2 like 112. The 11th win, the 99 connection. Gruden with the Raiders is 42-37. With a loss, he stays at 42 wins and he falls to 38 losses. Raiders equals 38, most pure cipher. And again, all time with a loss, he gets his 93rd in Missouri. And again, just all the things that connect. For Andy Reid, it's his 96th game. He's 64-31. All time, he's 194, 124-1. Gruden, when he signed up with the Raiders, the big number was 135. And I pointed out the day he signed up, that's the number that connects the Bay Area to Philadelphia. And Gruden used to coach the Philadelphia Eagles as an assistant. It's also Gruden's 136th day of his age, the 16th triangular. So interesting alignment there for Gruden. The ref here is Sean Hockley, number 83. I don't see how he really connects to this game. He's got the 60-date numerology. Hockley equals 32 like Kansas City and Chiefs, I suppose. With a loss, again, John Gruden has the perfect stats. If the Chiefs lost, they would fall to 11-5. Mahomes equals 115. Raiders equals 115. And had the Raiders lost last week, I would like them to upset the Chiefs. But I just think this 99-93 thing is going to play out. And I do recall very early in the season, I remember it was one of the primetime games that the Chiefs were in. I think it was actually the week where we got the 16 parlay. It was early in the season, and the commentators were having this long conversation about how the Chiefs very well could be the top seed in the AFC this year. And if that's the case, there will only be one team in the NFL who could win an Arrowhead. And I'm sure you guys know what team they said that would be. Of course, it was the Patriots. And the Patriots have the history with Bill Polian going to the Chiefs and Matt Castle. If the Raiders did beat the Chiefs, though, and set the Patriots up for the number 1 seed, Chargers would have to lose too. Again, that would give us deja vu of the Raiders and Patriots history and the Tuck rule and all that. So anyway, Chiefs probably win this game, but there are enough numbers on the board to think that the upset could still happen. And then if that does happen, then the John Gruden riddle's out the window. All right. Denham's taking the Raiders. Good luck to you, Denham. I hope you win, man. The Raiders would be a very nice payout, though. All right, 49ers, Rams. Got to imagine the Rams get that 13th win, the strong relationship with 99. There weren't Mullins' record against the NFC would make perfect sense with the loss to the Rams. Goff can become 11-8 at home in the regular season. The big Los Angeles number 118. So I think this probably the safest pick of the week right here. Rams over the 49ers. Won't pay anything, but throw it in a parlay to help multiply. Bears, Vikings. This one has all the marbles on the line here with the Eagles. For the Eagles to get in the playoffs, the Vikings need to lose. It's between those two teams for the NFC final spot. Again, this year's been about the flag and the national anthem. Not as much as last year, but still big narrative at the beginning of the season. And I don't know how the Vikings fit into that narrative. I do know how the Eagles do, home of the flag. So we have the 53 date numerology. The Bears can get their 53rd regular season win. The Vikings are already at 60 wins. We have the 60 date numerology. If the Vikings did win, they'd get their 61st. 61's the 18th prime, 2018, Bears 18. But the date numerology suggests 53 and 60, you know? So the Vikings could get their 37th home win against the Bears. That's favorable to the Vikings because 17 equals 37. So does Chicago, so does Vikings. But at the same time, they could get their 18th loss, and it is 2018. The ref in this game, Blakeman, his surname equals 157, the 37th prime. Notice that if the Bears win, their away record will be 5-3, and the Vikings' home record will be 5-3, which also fits into the date numerology. Trubisky, his stats really could go either way. There's no clear read there with Trubisky. Kirk Cousins. He can get his 37th regular season loss in Week 17. For both QBs, the birthday alignment was 133. Big Minnesota number, also a football number, which is interesting. Nagy could potentially get his 12th win, do it over the Vikings. Vikings 37. If the Bears did lose, they would stay at 11 wins. 11 equals 99, like Illinois, like Bears' 99th season. So I got to go with the Bears in this one. They got the date numerology in their favor, and I just think between the Vikings and Eagles, it makes more sense for the Eagles to be in the playoffs. Consider Kirk Cousins last year also played in the Eagles division. You know, maybe he helps out the Eagles here. All right, let's see. Bengals, Steelers. Bengals, Steelers. Big game here for the Steelers. They got to get this W. The Steelers can become 5-3 at home on the season with the win on the date with 53 numerology. Getting 53 is the 16th prime, 16th game. Big Ben can get his 157th win. That's the 37th prime. 17 connects to 37. Ben can get his 59th win against the AFC North, the 17th prime, Week 17. And The ref here, Carl Sheffers, he wears the number 51, the Cincinnati number. But the Steelers can also improve to 9-6 in the win-loss column in Cincinnati's 96. They'd also be 9-6-1. 961 has a square root of 31. Steelers 31. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And, Steelers got some good numbers there. All right, Cardinals, Seahawks. Seahawks can become 10-6, 106 days after Pete Carroll's birthday. They can pick up their 10th win against the 42 team. 10 as a word has gematria 42. We got 42 date numerology. Arizona equals 42. Josh Rosen equals 42. Stephen Wilkes, the coach, equals 42. And Washington's the 42nd state. These teams are tied 19-19-1. Probably surprised a lot of people. Seahawks are also 10-10 at home against Arizona, which might be a clue that another 10's coming up, and the only 10 that can appear is the Seahawks' 10th regular season win. The only thing I could say that's in Rosen's favor is Washington as a state equals 49. Could become 4-9 with an upset. The stat that I like the most is right here. Wilson get his 75th regular season win over the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals, 75. 17 equals 44. Seattle equals 44. He can get his 44th home win. Carroll would get his 122nd win all time on the 122nd Meridian. And again, he'd improve to 10-6, 106 days after his birthday. So I think Seattle gets the job done here. They're already in the playoffs. Cardinals lose, they get that 13th loss. I should also point out that 13 makes sense here. 13's 99. It's the Cardinals' 99th season. Them and the Bears, the only two teams in their 99th season. The Cardinals originally from Chicago. Okay, let's see. Eagles, Redskins. Again, we got the 53 date, big Pennsylvania number. Nick Foles can get his 29th win. 29 has the connection with week 17. He can get his 12th away win as well, which also has the connection with 17. His splits would make sense with some W's here. Josh Johnson can fall to 1-7 in week 17. I suspect that happens. There's actually not a whole lot of numbers here in this game. But the ref, his name gematria, does sync with Philadelphia Eagles. The Redskins could fall to 7-9, 79, the 22nd prime, Eagles 22. And again, I expect the Eagles to slip into the playoffs. So they'd have to get the W here to make that happen. With the Eagles win, they would be 4-4 away, a bit like 44. 17 equals 44. I suppose the Redskins could become 4-4 at home as well. So that could go either way. But I would just be surprised if the Eagles don't make it in the playoffs. Again, the Eagles could win and the Vikings could win as well. And then the Eagles would still be out, but that's part of the reason I don't expect the Vikings to make it. So all right, next game, tight call here. Browns, Ravens. Again, this is the battle of the original Cleveland Browns versus the new Browns. The Ravens came out of the old Browns franchise. What's concerning for the Ravens, again, just in case you weren't here earlier, we've been expecting Baltimore to make it to the playoffs because Baltimore is the home of the national anthem. But I was saying earlier that in this Browns-Ravens game, there's more numbers that line up here for the Browns than the Ravens. And if Baltimore didn't make it, the other team that has the Baltimore connection is the Colts. The Colts used to be from Baltimore. And we see how the Ravens and Colts have parallels all the time, like last week was a shining example. So if the Ravens did lose this game, I'd put more stock in the Colts winning in primetime over Tennessee. But let's just go over this again. We have 53 date numerology, and the Ravens could fall to 5-3 at home with a loss. That would make the Browns 3-5. Browns equals 35, so does QB. Earlier this year, Mayfield improved his record to 3-5 before improving it to where it now is 6-6. We have 17 date numerology. Ohio's the 17th state. The Ravens could get their 10th win on this 42 date numerology. Again, 10 equals 42, so does Mayfield. I suppose if the Ravens won, they would get their 6th win over number 6 Mayfield as well. It's the 40th game between these two teams. The Ravens lead 29-10. Again, 17 equals 109, the 29th prime. And let me just check something real quick. Is Ohio 109 in Jewish gematria? No, it's not. Okay. I swear there's something about 109 in Ohio. I can't think what it is, though, right now. So the Ravens are 15-4 at home against Cleveland. They could get their 16th win on this date with 53 numerology in their 16th game of the season. 53 is the 16th prime. Ohio 16. Cleveland's from Ohio. It's Mayfield's 13th game. He's 6-6 and 2-4 away. He could become 3-4. Maryland equals 34, so does Ravens. He could also become 2-5, and Ravens is 25 as well. I should point out that Browns equals 91, the 13th triangular, in light of it being his 13th game. Mayfield's 1-0 against the Ravens so far. He's 3-1 against the AFC North. He could become 4-1. Baltimore equals 41, the 13th prime. It's his 13th game. He's 5-5 against the AFC. He's 5-6 on Sunday. He could become 6-6. Baltimore Ravens equals 66. He's 3-1 in December. He could become 4-1 in Baltimore. Baltimore 41. For Jackson, it's his 7th game. He's 5-1 and 3-0 at home. It is week 17, the 7th prime. He could improve to 6-1 over the team from Ohio. Ohio 61. 61 is also the 18th prime, 2018. Jackson's 0-1 against the Browns, but I don't believe this is as a starter. This is including his splits here. And his splits include the games where he didn't start, but he just came in for a play or two, like what he was doing when Joe Flacco was the starter. He's 2-3 against the AFC North. You know what? Just real quick, I just want to measure from Joe Flacco's birthday. He is still part of this season. Just want to see how it factors in. January 16th. So the game's 17 days before his birthday. So 348 days after his birthday. Saying Joe Flacco could go to the Redskins, huh? Okay. Jackson's 2-3 against the AFC North. If he won, he'd be 3-3. Cleveland's 33. He's 7-4 against the AFC. Baltimore Ravens. Spelling wrong here. Equals 66. And if you use the rule for S, Baltimore Ravens is 75. Jackson's also 8-5 on Sunday, counting all of his appearances. With a win, he'd become 9-5. Baltimore's 95. Splits are hard, though, with him, again, because they're not all starts. For Greg Williams, it's his 8th game. He's 5-2. He could fall to 5-3 on the 53 date. All time, he's 22-33. He could get his 34th loss against the Ravens in Maryland. Good place to get it. The game's on Harbaugh's 99th day of his age, and Harbaugh is born on the day leaving 99 days left in the year as well. The ref Sean Smith. Smith equals 66 like Baltimore Ravens. John pointed out that the Ravens could get their 60th home loss as a franchise on a 60 date, which is a good observation. But we've been burned a lot on the franchise records. Ryan says, when Steelers lose, that will prove gematria doesn't work. Well, Ryan, think about this. I have more correct sports championship calls months in advance than anyone in the history of the world. So we've well established that gematria works. You're too late to the party, buddy. Be sure not to cancel before the first. A lot of trolls. That's the problem with Patreon. It really should bill you the day you sign up instead of allowing you to hang out the whole month. Isaac just snuck in the door, huh? We are expecting the Eagles to sneak into the last playoff spot. Denham says this Browns-Ravens game is the closest he ever encountered. I don't know about that. I mean, there's been a lot of close games. What I would say, though, is if the Ravens do lose, you got to bank on the Colts. There has to be some sort of Baltimore representation in these playoffs in light of the whole national anthem thing. Again, the national anthem was written in Baltimore. So the game is dangerous. Ravens has the gematria of 79 and 25. 79, the reflection of 9-7, 97, the 25th prime. Let me just check the Browns' potential win record and see if there's anything there with the stats. No, nothing that helps with that. It's tough because I would say there's more here in our regular decode that suggests the Browns win this game. But there are some pieces for the Ravens, absolutely. And I want to say they're the more true Baltimore team since they're still there, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe the Colts are still the more true Baltimore team since that's where they're originally from. So I'd be shocked if neither of those teams made it. Notice the over-under at 41, big Baltimore number. But that number lines up nice here for Mayfield. Let me just double-check some things. Cleveland has so many connections to 13. Browns is 91, the 13th triangular. Cleveland Browns 169, the 13th prime, or the square root of 13. It's Mayfield's 13th game, too. Here's something to think about. If Mayfield lost, he would fall to 6-7, 67, the 19th prime, and that's what his record would be heading into the next NFL season, 2019. It's a little abstract, but not so much because, I mean, next year is 2019. Yeah, this game's just dicey. Might use this game as a wait and see to amp up confidence in the Colts. Dredsley says the Browns numbers stand out more to him. I agree, Dredsley. Just going off the numbers for the game, you got to favor the Browns, really. It's just, do they really not put Baltimore in the playoffs? I mean, they're playing very well right now within the narrative. Jennings is putting together a 99 ticket for parlays. That's probably a good idea. All right, hold on. Baltimore Colts. When did the franchise start? 1947. 1947 and also 53. Not sure what happened in those 3 years that they weren't there. The original team before even the Baltimore Colts was the Miami Seahawks. They folded and they became the Baltimore Colts. So this is the team that became the first Baltimore Colts team. Yeah, I think in the preseason I think the Seahawks and Colts played each other in the preseason, maybe their first game this year too. I think that's happened in years past as well. All right, I'm going to make a note that Browns have stronger narrative for game, but Baltimore and national anthem. If you do see the Ravens lose this game tomorrow, it's nice that the Colts play in prime time, because really, I don't know how one of these teams isn't in the playoffs to represent Baltimore with the whole national anthem thing. All right. So here is the last game to look at. It is Colts and Titans. Both teams are 9-6. Whoever wins is going to be 10-6, and Tennessee equals 106. If it's the Colts, they'll be 4-4 away. 17 equals 44. Remember, the Titans used to be the Houston Oilers, and Andrew Luck's father, Oliver Luck, played. Here, let's actually see how Oliver Luck's birthday lines up with this game. April 5th. Perfect for the Colt 45s. Let's see. April 5th. Well, that doesn't really tell me anything. 269 days after his birthday, or his 270th day of his age. It was a thought. Okay, so let's go over this. It's the 48th regular season game. The Colts lead 32-15. If you write out 16 as a word, it's the 16th game of the season for both teams. If you write out 16, it equals 33. Oilers is 33. The Titans used to be the Oilers. Tennessee equals 137, the 33rd prime. The Colts could pick up their 33rd win in Tennessee. Then again, the Oilers could get the Titans could get their 16th win in the 16th game of the season. Titans lead the playoffs 1-0, so it's 32-16 all time. That means the Titans could get their 17th win all time in Week 17, but I still think it's better to look at the regular season records. Whoever wins again will be 10-6. Tennessee 106 with the alphabetic order. The Colts come in 3-4. Tennessee's 34. It's Luck's 92nd game. Keep in mind that 92 breaks down to 11 in numerology, like Luck's 92. He's 55-36 and 23-23 away. If he gets a win, he has 56 wins. I'm just going to make a point about this. Okay. So again, it's his 92nd game. 92 is 11 in numerology. He can get his 56th win. 56 is 11 in numerology. Luck equals 11. Luck can go 11-0 against the Titans with the win here. He has never lost to this team. He's 23-23 away, so the 24 could go either way, but Colts does equal 24. It's Luck's 86th regular season game. He's 52-33 and 22-20 away. We do have a 53 date numerology. Can get that 53rd win. Luck's 10-0 against the Titans. Remember the relationship with 11. 11 equals 99. It's the 99th NFL season. Luck's 23-7 against the AFC South. I guess I should note that Colts is 24 here. 17, the 7th prime. It's week 17. 39-24 against the AFC. He's 47-27 on Sunday. He's 7-9 on prime time. If he became 8-9, that's a bit like 89, the 11th Fibonacci number. He's 16-6 in December. He could get his 17th win in week 17. Could also get his 7th loss, 17, the 7th prime. For Mariota, it's his 58th game. He's 28-29 and 16-11 at home. He could get his 17th win in week 17. 17 equals 109, the 29th prime. He could become 29-29. It's Mariota's 56th regular season game. He's 27-28 and 16-11 at home. Mariota is 2-4 against the Colts. Could become 3-4. Tennessee's 34. He's 9-9 against the AFC South. With a win, he'd be 10-9. 17 equals 109. He's 18-23 against the AFC. He could get his 24th loss against the Colts. He's 23-24 on Sunday. He could even it up at 24-24. Remember, Mariota, his stats aren't all starts, though, too. At the beginning of this year, he wasn't starting games. He was coming in. He's 4-3 on prime time, Mariota. He could become 5-3 on the 53 date, or he could fall to 4-4. 17 equals 44. He's 9-6 in December. He could become 10-6. Tennessee, 106. The game's 109 days after Luck's birthday, 17-109. Game's 61 days after Mariota's. What did I just see a second ago? No. Both rookie coaches are 9-6. The ref for this game is Walt Anderson, number 66. Keep in mind it's the Colts' 66th season. Colts equals 66. 66 is the 11th triangular number. Luck's 11. Walt Anderson also equals 47, like Luck's 47. So this ref right here, to me, you know, that seems to be pointing to the Colts. It's not the Titans' 66th season, but it is the Colts. It's the Titans' 59th season, which is the 17th prime. And you know what? Let's just that's actually something that we should really look at here. Let's just take a moment to go over all the teams that are in their 59th season. All right, the Cardinals aren't there in their 99th. The Rams aren't there in their 82nd. The Niners are in their 73rd. Seahawks in their 43rd. Let's see. Lions, nope. Nope. The Cowboys are in their 59th season, 59 the 17th prime. The Broncos are in their 59th season. The Chiefs are in their 59th season. So are the Chargers. So are the Raiders. AFC West, 59s. The Bengals, I forgot, they're in their 51st season, and Cincinnati does equal 51. If I guess the way that the other way that Ravens could get in the playoffs is just the Bengals upset the Steelers, but I didn't see the numbers there. Just the ref. The ref was the only thing. Ref number 51 in the Bengals game. Let's see. It's the Texans' 17th season. That's something to think about with their big game in Week 17. Colts 66. It is the Oilers' 59th season, or the Titans' 59th season. It's the Bills' 59th, the Patriots' 59th, the Jets' 59th. So AFC East and AFC West have the highest percentage of teams in their 59th season. That's interesting. But yeah, the Colts, or not the Colts, the Titans are one of the teams. I just think there are numbers here that go both ways, but I have the older prediction of Luck beginning 11-0 against his father's old team, and Luck's 11, and this would be a very symbolic game to do it in. And also, just as a reminder, Peyton Manning, he used to be college QB in Tennessee and then played the majority of his career with the Colts. Mariota's banged up. I didn't realize that. Titans NFL Week 17 starter. Titans sweating on Mariota. Let's try this another way. Marcus Mariota, Week 17. All right, there are several teams playing for everything on Sunday as 3 playoff spots are still up for grabs, and there are key injuries that could affect who gets each. The Steelers could be without their top receiver as they face the Bengals. Antonio Brown. James Conner, their cancer running back, is able to practice. He's questionable. The Vikings are missing their linebacker and cornerback. So the Vikings are missing some key defensive players. Guess the Bears are missing some too. Huh. I got to imagine Mariota will start the game, but him being banged up factors into the Colts narrative, especially if we practice Thursday and Friday. Okay. Yeah, so I expect the Colts to win that game, and I think if you see Baltimore lose earlier in the day, I think that's a good sign for the Colts because, again, the Colts are originally from Baltimore, and I don't see how one of those teams doesn't fit the narrative with the whole national anthem thing this year. All right, you guys, I'm gonna look at this a little bit more, and then I'll put up the quick picks. I'll post the notes though directly below on the Patreon page. Here, I'll just do it right now, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me put it right here. Let's see. So the game notes are here. I'm going to do a little bit more research, see if I can find some more clues on some of these games that are still kind of questionable. And then I'll put up the quick picks a little bit later this evening. So, hey, Miss Mildred. All right, you guys, good discussion. We'll wrap it up here. If I get a chance to tomorrow, I might do some midday analysis, just see if anything opens up with the early games, trying to crack these final playoff riddles. But I just suspect the Eagles have to sneak in there, and a team with Baltimore representation in terms of the flag and national anthem. Thanks, Jen. Hope you have a good evening, too. I got to try this fasting thing. I've never fasted in my life intentionally, but there's been a lot of days where I haven't eaten anything all day and then just ate something at night just because I was working all day. All right, you guys. Have a great one. Take care.